All right, everybody, you know what time it is. The World Cup draw has commenced. We know all the groups for the 2026 World Cup. So it's time to make an early prediction video going all the way from Group A to L, talking about which national teams will make it out in first, second place, and as well, we have a best third place spots available to advance to the knockout rounds. So we're going to talk about all of it, the group of deaths, the group of lives, which big national teams might fall early, the dark horse runs, and everything in between. This is going to be a really fun video for you all. And don't forget, if you're new to the channel and love content talking about the 2026 World Cup from Asian national teams that we talk about on this channel to the Iranian national team, my national team, this is the channel for you all. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers before the 2026 World Cup. So with your guys' help, I know we can get there. So make sure to subscribe, drop a like. Let's get over 100 likes on this video for the 2026 World Cup almost being here. I can't wait. I'm already getting those World Cup jitters, and I bet all of you are as well. So drop a like and drop your guys' thoughts in the comments down below on my opinions, takes that you agree with, disagree with. That's the place to drop your thoughts. I respond to all comments. I read all comments. So make sure to do that. So let's get started. In Group A, we have Mexico, South Africa, South Korea, and the winner from the UEFA playoff between Czech Republic, Denmark, North Macedonia, and Republic of Ireland. The opening match for this World Cup will be Mexico against South Africa, a repeat of the 2010 World Cup, except for this time it not being in South Africa, but in Mexico City. What absolute scenes! The football gods absolutely dawned upon us. An insane and nostalgic opening World Cup match. And as well, I think all the host nations from Mexico, USA, Canada, and we'll obviously get into USA and Canada's group, got blessed with quite favorable opponents in their group. This could be anyone's game, but Mexico need to be the national team that get all 9 points. As a host nation, you got that host nation bump. You have your home fans. You're playing on home soil. I'm gonna go with Mexico finishing top of this group. And if it is Denmark that does get into this group, I think they will have just enough quality to get themselves in second place, with South Korea finishing in third and South Africa unfortunately finishing in last place. I do think though South Korea will be one of those best third place finishers, so I do see them getting to the knockout rounds. Next up is Group B, which has the other host nation, Canada, the UEFA playoff teams between Bosnia, Italy, Northern Ireland, and Wales. And then they have Qatar and Switzerland. I think surely Italy has to make it into this World Cup group. They cannot miss 3 straight World Cups, so I'm gonna assume that they will be the national team in this group. And if it is Italy that does make it into this group, they have to be able to top this group. This group is a little bit of a snooze fest. No offense to Qatar, Canada, and Switzerland, but Italy has to be top of this group. I know there's some history between Switzerland and Italy, where in the last Euros, Switzerland was able to knock out Italy of that tournament, but I would assume with their return to the World Cup, they have a point to prove. The Italians know their fans are on their back. They have to have some good performances, especially after the back of clawing out of their UEFA playoff. If they get to this point, I think they surely will have a chip on their shoulders to make a point and top this group. And then next, I gotta go with Switzerland. They're a very underrated European national team that always does well in Euros, competes in those group stage matches in World Cups, makes it to the knockout rounds. So I think they will solidify a second place spot. Unfortunately for Canada, I think they're gonna slide into third place. I just think due to the quality that Italy and Switzerland have, I don't think they'll be one of those top 2 finishers. But then again, Italy and Switzerland are both susceptible to having bad performances. We've seen both of these national teams slip up against lesser opposition. Italy in World Cups, Switzerland in big tournaments. So I wouldn't put it past Canada to maybe use that home field advantage, home World Cup bump to get themselves in that first or second place finish. But for me, I don't think they have enough quality. With Alphonso Davies just coming back from injury going into this tournament, he might not be informed. He's one of their key pieces. Jonathan David not having one of his best seasons since joining Juventus. I gotta put them in third. In Qatar, I mean, I think they have to just be happy that they're there. Yes, they have a great legendary manager in Lopetegui. There is Akram Afif, but this national team barely qualified for this World Cup. They did not look good at all in AFC World Cup qualification. We've talked about it numerous times on this channel. So I think they're just gonna be happy to be here, and I'm gonna say they're gonna finish in last place. Next up is Group C, which is one of my contenders for the group of death, which consists consists of Brazil, Morocco, Haiti, and Scotland. Man, I feel so bad for Haiti because this is their first ever World Cup, and I bet they're happy to play against some top tier national teams, but how unfortunate it is that I don't think they have a hope whatsoever in this group. They are going to be the punching bags. They are the national team that every single one of these other national teams will be looking at and just thinking that has to be 3 points for us. First, when talking about Brazil, they have been so up and down, and I think that correlates with the downfall of Neymar. He has just not been the same player since that 2022 World Cup. Since that departure from PSG, Neymar has been a shadow of himself. He has returned back to Santos, has had injuries, he's had ups and downs. Recently, actually scoring a hat trick for Santos, but he is just not the player he once was. If anything, in my humble opinion, I think Brazil are better without Neymar, and when they have my guy Estevao leading the lines for Brazil. We'll just have to see what kind of team they bring out here. And I'm going to go with my first hot take, but I don't think Brazil's going to finish in first place in this group. I'm actually going to put them in third place. And in first place, I'm going to go with Morocco. They were the dark horse run of the 2022 World Cup. They're still a really solid national team. I think they have a point to prove. They got blood on their hands, and they want to go out and top this group. They topped their previous group at the 2022 World Cup when most people didn't give them a shadow of a doubt in that group. I think they are going to be here to top this group, and I think they're finishing in first. And then by a little bit of a surprise, I'm going to go with Scotland. They had a historic run to make it to this World Cup. They have the Serie A MVP in Scott McTominay, Mick Sauce, other great players like Andy Robertson, and the list goes on. And I think they're going to be up for it. Their fans are beyond passionate. The Scottish fans are insane. They are immaculate. They're going to bring that to North America. And I think they could be a surprise package and finish in second place. And then, of course, I've already talked about Haiti. They're probably going to finish in last place, but they'll definitely be happy to play against such great national teams and just to be there. Then moving on to Group D, which consists of the final host nation, the USA, Paraguay, Australia, and the winner of the UEFA playoff between Turkey, Romania, Slovakia, and Kosovo. I'm really confident that Turkey is going to make it out of that playoff, so I'm going to slot them right into this group. And as I said, most of the host nations have had a favorable draw in their group, but do I think this is going to be an absolute cakewalk for the US? No. And do I have a hunch they might overlook their opponents? Yes. The USA have recently played against Paraguay and Australia in friendlies, and they won both of those matches, but I do think you're going to see a different version of Australia and Paraguay. They played a bit of rotated lineups in those matches. I still think the USA are yet to find their identity of what is their best lineup. I still think Pochettino doesn't really know that. I know there's a lot of time till the World Cup begins, but I think Paraguay and Australia can cause a lot more difficulties than we saw in those friendlies that they did play against the US. And especially if Turkey is going to be in this group, the USA really struggled in that match against them. So it's all kind of up in the air for me. I think if Turkey make it into this group, I'm going to put them on top. I think Turkey have a big point to prove. They have so many good players, and Arda Güler has a big point to prove. He's the young star for Real Madrid. He is the star of Turkey football right now. They have other consisting players with him. So I'm going to go with maybe a hot take, but Turkey top of the group. I think it's going to be an absolute dogfight for second place, but I have to back Australia. They always seem to make it happen in World Cups. They've been there, they've done that, regardless if they are not in great form going into the World Cups. When they're down and out, they're not the team that is favored in World Cups. They always make it happen and make it to the knockout rounds. And I gotta stay true to my guns and stay true to history. And I think they're gonna make it out, finishing in second place. And then USA, I do think they'll finish in third, and they'll be one of the best third place finishing teams, but I just think that the USA, with their little bit of cocky mentality, might overlook some of their opponents. Think Australia, Paraguay, we beat them in friendlies. We're the host nation, we gotta do it. I think there's a lot of uncertainty with Pochettino. I don't actually rate him as the USA manager. A lot of pressure as being a host nation, a lot of expectation that the USA need to do something. They need to be something at this World Cup. Cup. And I think it's going to get to them. I understand they have Pulisic, who is flying high for AC Milan, but it's not the AC Milan of old. He's a better player in a somewhat lesser squad. I still think they'll make it out of the knockout rounds, but I think it'll be as a third place finisher. And unfortunately, Paraguay, I just think there's too much inconsistencies. They have good players in Enciso and Almiron, and I'd want to see them do well, but I just think due to the inexperience, the lack of quality from top to bottom, compared to the other nations in this group, I'm gonna have to put them in fourth place. And now moving on to Group E, which consists of Germany, Curacao, Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. This group is quite interesting because I think it's quite neck and neck between Germany, the Ivory Coast, and Ecuador. Similarly to a few of the other groups I mentioned, I think Curacao will just be happy to be there. So I think we can easily solidify them in fourth place, but I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe have a valiant effort in one of their matches, as they are World Cup debutants. Surely top of the group has to be Germany. They are out for blood at this World Cup. They have failed to make it out of the group 2 consecutive World Cups. Since winning it, Germany have just been cursed. I do think they're starting to put things together under Julian Nagelsmann, and they will have a point to prove. So I'm going to go with them top of this group. Next, I gotta go with Ecuador. They have one of, if not the best defenses at this World Cup. They are so underrated. The fact that they conceded little to no goals in CONMEBOL qualifying is such a huge accomplishment that no one is giving them praise for. I think defense wins you championships, and Ecuador's got that in bucket loads. So I'm gonna go with them in second place. And now for the Ivory Coast. They are a national team that a few people are saying, well, you know, not a lot of people are talking about them. They are AFCON champions. They steamrolled their World Cup qualification group, and Africa is not an easy confederation to qualify from. And as well, similar to Ecuador, they had a great defensive record. I do think it could flip-flop between Ecuador and the Ivory Coast for that second place spot, because they do have a lot of similarities. But I just rate Ecuador a little bit higher, so I'm going to put them in third place in this group. And now moving on to Group F, which could yet again be another group of death. And there is the Netherlands, Japan, the UEFA playoff between Albania, Poland, Sweden and Ukraine, and Tunisia. I think Sweden will be the national team to prevail and make it into this group. And if that is the case, this group is quite even. I don't think there is one national team that is superior to the other. Yes, on paper, everyone's going to say the Netherlands, but I really don't think the Netherlands, Sweden, Japan, Tunisia are really that far off from each other. Many people might say on paper, Tunisia might finish in fourth place. And I'm actually inclined to agree, but I don't think it will be as cut and dry as many people think. Yes, I'll put them in fourth, but I don't think Tunisia is a national team that people should really overlook. When it comes to third place, if Sweden do make it, I'm gonna put them in that third place spot. I just think they're lacking quality from top to bottom. I still think they're a solid European national team, but I just don't think compared to Japan and the Netherlands, they have the juice to make it happen. When it comes to Japan and the Netherlands, I actually think this is quite a close competition. Moriyasu, the Japan manager, is clutch when it comes to playing against national teams that technically should be more superior to them. It's actually those minnow national teams, maybe like a Tunisia, that he will overthink, drop the ball. Japan doesn't play up to their par. But when it comes to the Netherlands, Sweden, I think he will play it out very well tactically, have his guys up for it. They have so many great players. Ueda, the striker for Feyenoord, is the guy I gotta highlight. He has been on a tear this season. He has been on a tear for Japan. And I'm gonna put a hot take, but Japan are gonna finish top of this group, with the Netherlands finishing in second. Not because the Netherlands are bad, I just think Japan's gonna surprise a lot of people. Because this group isn't straightforward. There isn't any like minnow national teams, like in the previous World Cup when they played Costa Rica, they stooped low. Every national team is at quite level playing fields here. Again, call it a hot take, but that's just how I view it. And I think Japan will finish on top with the Netherlands in second place. And then moving on to Group G, which features my national team, Iran, Belgium, Egypt, and New Zealand. I already did do an in-depth video talking about this group, so if you guys want to watch that, it's about 20 minutes long. I'll leave a link in the annotations and in the description down below if you want my in-depth analysis for all my Iranians watching. But for all of you, doing a brief overview for it, this is probably the group of life. This was the group I wanted to see as an Iranian, the Iranian national team get, because I don't think it's as clear cut and dry as many people will think. I do think Belgium will likely finish in first, and I will put them in first place, but it's not the Belgium of old. I think they'll maybe have around 4 to 5 points and just finish top of the group. But for everyone else, New Zealand, Egypt, Iran, they are all probably licking their lips to be like, you know what? We have a realistic shot at finishing second, or maybe as one of the best third place nations. Even though New Zealand rarely qualify for World Cups, the last time they were in a World Cup was back in 2010, I don't think they're a national team to overlook. They have the star of Chris Wood from Nottingham Forest. He's a clinical striker, and they've actually had some good performances in their friendly matches. Yes, they haven't won, but they've played against some really good national teams and didn't really perform that badly. And I would say those national teams were way above the likes of Egypt and Iran. And when it comes to Egypt and Iran, they have to look at themselves and be like, we finally have a really good shot of making it to the knockout rounds of the World Cup. More so for Iran than Egypt, because Egypt is still yet to have a single World Cup win under their belt. There's a lot of hype for them at the 2018 World Cup when they were in a quite favorable group, but they weren't able to do it. They actually finished in last place with no points. And with Iran, I mean, I've talked about numerous times on the channel. You guys can go through all my videos. This is an old squad. There's not that much young, budding talent like we would hope at this point, and it's pretty similar to the national team from 2018, 2022, just a lot older and just kind of not as good. Maybe that experience will help Iran get over the line. I gotta be somewhat realistic. Let bias be put aside. I'm gonna go with Belgium in first, Egypt in second, but Iran will be a best third place finisher in third, and New Zealand in last place. But again, I hope I'm completely wrong and Iran get in second place. They could even get first. Even Egypt could get first. Belgium, we saw in 2022, are prone to not making it out of the group stage. They are a little bit of a sinking ship. They still have talented players like Trossard and Doku, but it is a little bit of a mess. We're gonna have to see what happens. But that's how I see this group playing out. And now moving on to Group H, which consists of Spain, Cape Verde, Saudi Arabia, and Uruguay. Spain are the favorites for this World Cup. They are the national team that looks the most likely to win the whole thing. And can you blame anyone? I mean, I don't really need to go into much depth when it comes to talking about Spain, because at that point, it's just yapping and waffling. We all know Spain are the clear favorites for this group. I think they're going to get 9 points. I do think that matchup against Uruguay will be a competitive match. I don't think it's going to be easily cut and dry, and I wouldn't maybe be surprised if there's a draw in that game. But I still do think they will go undefeated, maybe win all 3 games, finish top of this group. Uruguay, they have to finish second, but they as well are prone to flopping in World Cups. We saw it in 2022. We saw it in 2014 a little bit. They are not quite as clutch as they used to be in World Cups, but I do have to put them in second place. The real question is, can Saudi Arabia or Cape Verde dogfight it out for a best third place finish? Probably not. I do think Saudi Arabia will finish in third and Cape Verde finish in last place. I'd like to see Saudi Arabia as a fellow Asian nation do well. They got my boy Hervé Renard, probably my favorite manager at this World Cup. So I do want to see them do well, but I do think Uruguay and Spain is punching above both those national teams' waist. I just can't see it. I know Saudi Arabia beat Argentina in the 2022 World Cup, which was the biggest surprise. Argentina's only loss in the World Cup, but then again, they still weren't even able to make it out of the group. So that's how I'm going to see this group pan out. And now moving on to Group I, which I consider the group of death. There is France, Senegal, the winner from the Intercontinental playoff between Bolivia, Iraq, and Suriname, and Norway. We're gonna see Mbappe versus Haaland, the new Messi-Ronaldo rivalry, you could say. To a degree, I don't know. But Norway was the national team from Pot 3 that no one wanted to draw, and they ended up in a crazy difficult group. From the national teams in the Intercontinental playoff, I'm assuming Iraq will make it out. I've been backing them throughout qualification, so I'm gonna say Iraq make it out, but I don't think it makes any difference. Whichever national team makes it out of the Intercontinental playoff in this group, they are screwed. They are finishing in last place, so in this video, I'm gonna say Iraq finish in last. There's no hope. I'm sorry, I think they'll just be happy to be here, similar to other nations in really tough groups. 4th place. The interesting talking point for this group is France, Norway, Mbappe, Holland, kind of like that Messi-Ronaldo rivalry. They are the two young, budding youngsters around the same age group that we've talked about, similar to Messi and Ronaldo, and they are facing off in this group. No one wanted to draw Norway in pot 3, and they ended up in this group. Senegal, they are as well a tough national team. I don't think they quite have the star power like they used to back in 2022. I think that was their time to make something happen. So I'm gonna go with Senegal finishing in 3rd, Norway probably finishing in 2nd, and France in 1st. Do I think Norway could finish in 1st place? Could that be a hot take? Yeah, maybe, but is it really a hot take? We all know Norway is an absolute beast, but Norway hasn't qualified for a World Cup since 98. In my opinion, I think experience plays a big part in it. And I think with that, I don't think they'll get top of the group. I do think they're better than Senegal. They're definitely better than whoever makes it out of the Intercontinental playoff, which I think might be Iraq. But either way, I do think they'll finish in 2nd place. But due to their experience, France surely have to finish in 1st place in this group, even though this is the group of death. All right, next up is Group J, which consists of Argentina, Algeria, Austria, and Jordan. There is something fishy going on with this group because on paper, Argentina definitely got a bit of a cakewalk. I do think Austria and Algeria could cause Argentina a little bit of issues, but based on everything we've seen with them in Euros and AFCONs, they're just not quite the same national team they used to be, and more particularly Algeria, since they've won AFCON, it's kind of been tipsy-turvy for them. Mahrez is not once the guy he used to be, and so, yeah, and then Jordan. This is going to be their first ever World Cup, I believe, and they have been sensational in Asian qualifying. Their rise has been amazing. They recently reached the Asian Cup final, but lost to Qatar. I do think Jordan could have like one upset match, maybe tie against Austria, beat Algeria, something like that. But most definitely, you got to put Argentina in 1st place and Jordan in last place. It's kind of more the conversation between Austria and Algeria. Who's going to step up in this tournament? Because somebody's got to finish in 2nd place. It's a little bit similar to the Iran-Egypt situation. 2nd place is up for grabs. Which national team's gonna want to take it? If I were to put my money on it, I'm gonna back Algeria to get that 2nd place spot. So I'm gonna stick them into 2nd place, and Austria, maybe they squeak into one of the best 3rd place finishers. So maybe we'll see that. But if it does happen, I think they'll be one of the lowest to barely make it to the knockout rounds. And now moving on to Group K, which consists of Portugal, the other intercontinental playoff winner between DR Congo, Jamaica, and New Caledonia, Uzbekistan, and Colombia. I do think this group is very cut and dry. I do think when it comes to the intercontinental playoff nation, most definitely DR Congo are going to make it here. If I'm wrong, well, that's going to age very poorly. I do think this group is very cut and dry. I think Portugal, Colombia will finish as the top 2 finishers. And with a little bit of a hot take, I think Colombia is going to finish top of this group. Portugal have been up and down. I think it depends on how they want to proceed at this World Cup. I think Portugal will do better, play better, if Ronaldo is not one of their main guys. He's not the main starting striker. Call him up, let him be a part of the squad. But if I want to see Portugal have success at this World Cup, Ronaldo can't be the guy. I'm sorry, it might piss off some Ronaldo fanboys. I don't have any hate. I don't love or hate Messi or Ronaldo. They've both done my national team dirty. They both scored against Iran. So I have no fire in this Messi-Ronaldo beef. I'm just being honest for Portugal's success, in my point of view. I think he can be there, but if he's starting, I think it hinders Portugal a little bit because I think they have way better talent and playing way more as a team when he is not the main focal point for them. And I do think he'll probably start because it's Ronaldo. So I'm going to go with Colombia in 1st because they are absolute dogs. They are on an ascendancy right now for the national team. Even though stars like James Rodriguez is not quite the stars like he was back in 2014, I still think they have enough talent to finish top of this group. Portugal in 2nd, DR Congo in 3rd, and I'm sorry to all my Uzbeks, but you guys are finishing in last place. I think you'll just be happy to be here. Maybe you get a win, maybe you get a draw in any of the matches, but I just don't think you guys have enough to finish in 3rd or 2nd or not even 1st place in this group. And then wrapping it up with Group L, which consists of England, Croatia, Ghana, and Panama, which some people might think this is a group of death. And I am actually somewhat inclined to agree, but if I'm saying Group I is is my group of death, I can't quite give this the group of death mantle. England, Croatia, they have to be the top 2 finishers. But I do think Panama and Ghana could cause them some issues. England have been high flying since Thomas Tuchel has been appointed. And it's quite interesting that they have a manager that's not English. It might work in their benefit. Who knows? And there is that rematch between Croatia and England from the 2018 World Cup semi-final, which Croatia got that historic win in extra time. Maybe England think they might have some blood on their hands and they gotta win that match. And I think Thomas Tuchel will understand that and will set England up properly. But is this England's World Cup? Maybe. Maybe not. But when it comes to this group, I do think they'll finish top of it. Croatia, still a powerhouse. Do I think they're the national team of 2018 and 2022? No, but I think they have more than enough quality to finish in second place. Panama will be my surprise third place finishers because I think they have been in a revelation of form under Christensen as their coach. And maybe by surprise, I'm going to go with Ghana in fourth. I just don't have that much faith in Ghana. They have disappointed me in numerous World Cups now. And I just rate Panama that little bit higher. So I'm going to go with them in fourth place. And with that, that is my early predictions for the 2026 World Cup. But boys and girls, my opinion only matters so much. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Do you agree with my predictions? Disagree? Let me know your thoughts. Make sure to smash the like button on this video. Let's get over 100 likes with the 2026 World Cup fast approaching. Don't forget to subscribe. We're on the road to 6K subscribers before the 2026 World Cup. And I know I can do that with your guys' help. So make sure to do that. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to check out this video next. And click over here as I post content weekly on the channel and you don't want to miss it. But boys and girls, I hope you'll have a lovely day.